Well, I think this is my new like Mr. Rogers moment where I like put change into my shoes but change in my jewels. Okay, here, let's get jewelry edition in here. Hi. Oh, go live. Okay. Took me a chatting with the fam today. Hey, what's
Hey.
up?
I'm trying to
Cheers.
get I don't have my tripod with me tonight. So,
Oh,
um, this is what I've got. I think
okay.
it,
Where are you? And this is amazing. What are you wearing? Oh, hello. Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. I love it. Thank you. I don't own those, but you own them.
I do. I own my own pair. I know. I think we all own, I don't even have a pair of my own from that project. So, we're talking about hoops.
Yes, from the
Uh,
Anya House hoops. Today I wore my Anya House sweatshirt to vote for my early voting.
nice.
I got
Nice.
it was no line, super easy. New York, if you're like all worried, it was great. They said Saturday there were lines, but even the lines Saturday, they were super efficient, clean, fast. Boom, boom, boom. 30 minutes about.
That's nice. Good. Well, maybe, I mean, I feel like so many people voted early. So many people were like, let me just go ahead and do it, you know?
I,
Is
I,
my,
this is great, right?
yes. Is my internet being funky? I can't tell if mine.
I feel like we might have a little delay, but I'm not. You seem okay.
Okay, cool.
Like, I was about to put jewelry on. I really think my new thing is I get dressed when I start,
Yeah.
just like my neighbor, just like Mr. Rogers.
Well,
What's up?
tonight I will do a quick intro for
Yeah.
you. Ooh.
Oh,
Um, Jewelry Edition has been so lucky because you've been able to kind of come in and do all these interviews for all the different artists and they've been so much fun to watch and to kind of listen to. And so we thought it would be a really great idea to do an interview with you, because you are a badass maker and doing so many things. I can't even keep up, honestly. But even pre-pandemic, you were just kind of a role model for so many of us. And then post-pandemic, you've definitely been like someone to look to for inspiration on how to keep engagement with clients, how to keep busy, how to work, how to do activism, and kind of
amazing.
combine that with your work. So you've been doing a lot of really cool things. So anyway, this is Jewelry Edition interviewing our interviewer, Megan Patrice Riley,
Oh,
who is also on our committee moving forward to kind of make sure that we are keeping engagement up and working on
yeah,
diversity and all these
yeah. Like create
missions we have.
opportunities, like equitable opportunities in the arts. I think
Yes.
is really. Okay, I just have to say thank you so much, Laura. This has been such a pleasure. I really love the art that you always curate every season, and this has been really nice to connect with them and learn more and have you guys facilitate all of. I don't know, really in the future, open to doing more because this is super.
Oh,
Where I love it.
definitely. We should actually think about this for Jewelry Edition is popping up with Ombre Gallery next month, and we're going to do something with her. I don't know if New York Jewelry Week is going to merge with it or not, but
Okay.
if it does, or if we do something online, maybe you can come up aboard and do something in a chat potentially. That would be great.
I would love that we could chat a little bit and talk about work and try stuff on and let's do it. I also am represented by Ombre Gallery as well, so that's a really nice
Yeah.
alignment. We work with a lot of similar places. I'm really excited. I'll be shipping work there this week as well. So
Wow. So let's dive right in. So what do you have lined up for the holiday? Normally you do like Grand Central Station and you do Union Square and you do all these like really, really traffic,
yeah,
high traffic, foot traffic places with a lot of volume, things that I think a lot of people who have done Jewelry Edition have not done to that scale. And We certainly have it. So yeah, what do you have going on, and how does that factor into your holiday season?
Yeah, and I think the holiday for us, like, like I'm a maker. I also have three makers now that work for me over the years that I do all the, you can see we don't just produce one thing. My studio is very much like we're production, but we are also very much an art studio.
Yeah.
Like I really think about blending that line. We do tons of one of a kind work. I make really special things for clients all the time. But as holiday approaches, I usually switch gears and I switch to almost fully production and we just, we do a couple curated shows like PMA, um,
Hmm.
enough to get in, or some fine art show, which everything has been completely canceled. So that's been really hard to adjust to. But we also like basically set up a shop, like a pop-up
Yeah.
shop
Yeah.
for weeks during the holidays in Manhattan at some location. It's been Columbus Circle, Union Square, Grand Central primarily. Um,
Mhm.
is seeing hundreds of thousands of people every single day, and when I did that, can I just tell you, I started in 2010, and I was like, I sold to like 5 museum stores. That's how I
That's
started.
still great though to start
Yeah,
there.
it was on was my start. San Francisco Museum of Modern Art and Seattle Art Museum were the first to like really buy in to what
Hmm.
really I really think legitimize my work.
Yeah.
But at the same time, on a separate level, that was happening on one level, on a whole set. On the second level, I was working on one of a kind work, and I got published by those 500 books by Martha Levan.
Yeah.
Um, Subsequently, won an award in art jewelry through the Society of Contemporary Crafts. It was
That's
launched.
where I first saw your work, was through
Yeah,
that.
her
Hmm.
cat was there. I mean, that's how I met. Like, I met everybody.
Yeah.
That Bob Eppendorf.
Yeah.
That's how I met. That's how I met you. All of that is how I even knew what craft shows were. I didn't know what craft shows were. My first craft show was PMA.
That's insane because that's like one of the hardest ones to get into if you do craft
I'm
fair.
super, 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 super lucky in everything that I've like landed, But I also
Yeah.
wrote the papers, wrote the proposals, put the packages together, and was just doing my work and knew how to package each thing I was doing in a way that would work for
Hmm.
sense. Like a museum is different from doing something for 500 books or an exhibition. It's completely different brains. So that was really interesting. And then I started doing fashion when I moved to New York. So that was like another layer. But I mean, fashion is amazing. It just moves too fast of a cycle.
It's a really, really fast cycle. It's
Yeah.
hard.
We're like an Eileen Fisher in the fashion world. I'm
That's a
not,
good comparison.
that's,
Yeah.
how I model my business. I'm about like long-term sustainability, have ever, I don't know, I don't know how to say this, but ever designs, like things that are evergreen, if that
Hmm.
makes sense, way that are
Yeah.
not, and
Totally.
design a lot of ways. I don't want to be fast or like super trendy.
Right.
Those are difficult.
Right. I think a lot of people get confused. A lot of students get confused when you're talking about production. I
Oh,
think it can sometimes like feel like it's going in another direction, but you have to remember that it is one person that's making it, and oftentimes one person in like a team of three or something.
it's not like it's funny because okay, I've spoken at many universities over the years, which I've been very
Yeah.
lucky to. I just spoke at, my latest one was RISD. So I spoke with Seth Patek at RISD recently, like in the
Mhm.
fall before all this happened.
Um,
And I remember chatting. People were like, "Oh, product, like, oh, like, ooh, a little. Ooh, what is your emotional connection to your work? What do you, da, da. And it's funny because not you can work in many ways.
it's so, yeah, it's true. And I think it's kind of interesting. Once you get outside of a school setting, it becomes a very different conversation. But when I remember, I'll just put it this way, when I was in school, I remember taking weeks to make a piece for a project, right? It's like
Absolutely.
your everything, your blood, sweat, tears. And then Valentine's Day would roll around and they'd be like, okay, we're doing a Valentine's Day sale. Just like whip something up real quick. Everybody's like, okay. And so, you know, putting all this weird stuff on a table, and some of it's half baked, some of it's not. And it's sort of like, I think certain programs do kind of beef that up and have beefed that up since when I was like early on in my early career, and have paid more attention to like thinking about what selling your work is and what branding your work is and how you can, you know, kind of elaborate on a theme, on a body of work. And there could be, I think that could be like an entire semester or two worth of education in like how to sell your work. And I honestly think you could teach a master class in how to just like be your, I mean, you are so tied to your work. Like, I feel like, I don't think there's any person that buys your work that doesn't also buy you. Like you are so much a part of why people love.
It's funny, and people buy, and I sell a lot of wholesale too. And I think people, even if they don't meet me, there's something that translates, that I do put something emotional into my work. I'm going to start. Okay. That makes me really feel something. But I do. I mean, this is a hard job. This is not something you do on a whim.
No, very hard. And I see you work.
You don't do this because you're going to be like making millions. And my goal is not to like sell my company necessarily. My goal is to have a long-standing design aesthetic that is representative of me and my whole lifestyle, I guess. But because I was really trying to like not be a company for so long, and then really I did this, like, I take classes all the time.
Yeah, talk about that.
Okay, you guys, I love taking classes. But I'm a super self-learner. I don't like, I'm not a great joiner. I'm like really I'm collaborative, but it's like you know me. We have the privilege of collaborating together. It's just, but it's not always working for me. I'm pretty like I'm introverted too.
Well, you work at a speed, Megan, that is like, you work at a very fast pace. Like, you go from idea to implementation to out there in the world to you're gathering data on it to turning that data into the next thing. It is beyond, it is sometimes makes my mind kind of go inside out because it is at a pace and at a creativity level that is just beyond. And I think that's what makes you so successful. I'm curious why you went into jewelry, because you started in business and then you have a knack like for obviously being a trendsetter and being like having your own style. But what made you choose jewelry out of all the different things that you could do?
Okay, let me tell you, I literally had a whole other life, as Laura knows, and like other people don't know because I don't talk about it, but I was anonymous for like 12 years, 10 to 12 years, and did community economic development. So this is why I've always been so much of an advocate for equity in all things. So I used to do housing, which was working with the housing department, doing really, I don't know, just really basic needs, getting basic needs met. Our country is not good at this. I've been aware of this for a long time. I also think that's like, my parents are work with people.
Yeah.
Like, they work with like social work, probation, and teaching. So it's all rehabilitating youth. So this all makes sense. But then I got into jewelry, and I really struggled with doing this as a profession for many years. I always loved jewelry, always. I have made jewelry my whole life. I would pick things up and put them together into chains, just naturally. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I would make sculpture. My mom was like, I was very active as a kid. Yeah. So it's cool. So she would like leave things out for me to play with, but I would get into things. So I'd make like Q-tips. I would make a whole thing. just anything around me, I would do this. I've always done this. And then I started making beads and doing stuff. I never thought this could be an actual profession as a job. It wasn't really ever, I didn't know enough about it.
Right.
Or just was not open to me. I was always more academic.
Mm-hmm.
And even when I tried to sign up for classes that were more art, I was literally put into academic classes because we had to meet certain quotas in our school. I went to a special school. I went to a special school, but it was like you had to test to get in and like.
What school was it?
It's a high school down the street from my house, but they just had like international baccalaureate program and a special tech program. So we were coding in the 90s in high school, like early. I mean, a lot of my friends work in tech now, and we were like programmed electrical boards and all of that. That was definitely not for me. I knew for sure, but I always loved math. Math was good.
Right. Yeah, that's hard.
Me in math, so they kept, even though I tried to get tech class.
Oh yeah, Sarah, your sister says she's been like that from the get-go, and Tanya said, "Uh-oh."
Yeah. Sarah attests. But the jewelry, especially, like it's something, I don't know if it was just in me, but I always my whole life made jewelry. My first collection I presented in 5th grade, and I had like little boards. And I went up to the top. And my first presentation of my art though was in 4th grade, because I had sculpted or made things in the garage, and just like I got into woodworking, make and like paint polka dotted little mini guitars. I played no guitar.
I feel like when I was in elementary school, there would be these girls that would come into school, and they have their whole pocketbook would be full of like candy, and they would sell everybody else candy. And I feel like that's you. I feel like you are that girl in your school.
You love this. Okay. I sold fake gum.
I knew it.
In 1st grade, I got everybody in them. I was like, definitely like, I got everybody on my team. You know what I mean? Like, everybody. I was like, that's cool.
And it would be like
a lot.
Something nobody else could get to, like at a certain store that like only you drove past, that, you know.
For gum, I would color it, little gum packets out of paper, and color each piece of gum and make little packaging for it, and would stick it in and be like, it said gum on it. And I had them, you could like collect them.
Working on the branding. That's hilarious.
Like into it.
I remember,
my friend was Karen Jew made them for me.
Crazy. So I want to try on some jewelry.
She made me.
Who made that for you? Your friend
made this for me.
It's an MPR Barbie doll. You guys, go in with that to the camera. What does the bubble say?
Taking it out. The whole thing has to come out because you guys.
Oh my God. With the clip and the sunglasses and the hair and the polka dots.
They made special shoes for me.
Oh my God. This is you. Holy crap.
I need to get over the holidays so I can start making jewelry for her, but I think she should be my new mascot. Anyways, we do need to try on jewelry, but
you need to put that in your booth wherever you go, next to your like checkout.
She's so cute. So I definitely was making things from early age and selling them and like getting people in, like, and then college I would teach statistics or like tutor statistics, and then for half an hour afterwards I would teach beading, like how to bead necklaces, and like
you're just busy. You stay busy, and you can see, honestly, you can see your personality in your work so well because you have like many different series, and I mean you've got like, I don't even know how many iterations of your designs. Like, how do you do catalog every design?
Yes, and I have actually some of it here. I have a whole So I'm super okay. We're organized, but we're always working on systems. Honestly, like
Yeah.
systems are the difference between you being Subway or McDonald's. Do you know what I'm saying? Like as a business, you're Subway or you're fucking McDonald's. Dirty or you're cleaning a well-run machine. We're trying to do this.
Right.
So I have a Google Drive of every single pattern, and if there's any updates, they get old ones get archived, new ones get updated with the date of when it was updated.
Wow.
So we have like for over 10 years, it's things change, like patterns change,
Right.
and, stuff. So I have also because I have like a lot of people don't come in here. Like we can't have people. We'll walk around the studio because you can see that. We'll see it, but here's patterns over the years. By the way,
Wow.
this is
That
one
is organization, Megan. That is impressive.
like neck.
When you have your retrospective, these are going to be like all spread out.
The sketchbook that these came from is categorized, and I have a little bookshelf of them because I don't want to lose those in some ways. Even in the like I'll go and look at my sketchbooks and I'll have sketched something and I'll relate so much to what I'm doing currently that I'll go back to it and update it or actually make it this. It's finally the time to make it.
Yeah.
A lot of things don't get made.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that. If I were to find them and find your designs, is it something that only your brain can work out, or is it something that, like, if you needed to hand it to someone, would they be able to then?
I don't know if you'd be able. No.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like my grandma Shay's recipes.
Gotcha.
So my grandma Shay was an amazing cook from China, but she went to culinary school there, which was awesome. So I want to learn. I love Chinese food. I love homemade.
Yeah.
But there are certain things that it's like she literally write down beef mixed with pork, chives, dash of flour, egg.
Okay.
Egg. That's the dumpling. My sister and I were like, this bitch. Like, that's not
That's how they come visit. That's how they're like, now that's how she's gonna come visit me because she's gonna show me how to make the thing.
my mom knew, so that's very verbal, oral. It was just funny. So I think for a lot of these, you can see it's not like you need to have me teach you. Once you get the language, there's like a language.
Right.
I've talked about this a lot before because each studio has their own language. I know you do with your system, and how once you get into it, how you design is a language too. So over time, like it gets easier for my assistants to follow my patterns because I can hand them that without showing them and be like, they're like, okay, because they have this learning curve. It's not always right. So I've created videos for certain things, and I will like video how special like tricks or special how to's, and those are like all internal.
Very smart.
And that because I especially for right now, people can't be in here. We have one person in here one day, and then me not here. So it's like really careful about.
That's how you're doing it right now during COVID?
Yeah.
Got it.
I think that's the safest right now.
Yeah, it's a very small studio. You have to be careful.
Yeah. And I can do a lot of computer work at home for one day. It's just funny because it's like, whoa. And even then, that's a whole new thing. Before I had nobody in here. We weren't even in here for 3 months. But so.
Yeah, you were doing all of this in your home, in your apartment in New York. You guys, Megan is based in New York. Yes. She has an apartment and then her studio.
Brooklyn. Yeah. But it's not big.
Right.
We like literally got rid of furniture, and the middle room is now going to be like a video room for the winter in case we get shut down again, which is a possibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
So preemptively trying to prepare for that.
Show me this necklace to the left of you on the wall. The art.
Okay, I'm also wore some humongous earrings for you. I brought a bunch of stuff because
Let's see it all, because
yeah,
our audience needs to see it. Megan, if anybody, looking to apply to Jewelry Edition needs to like get inspired by building a collection, I feel like you are like, look at Megan's collection, look at the broad just spectrum of things. But not only that, like if I were to look at your collection, we would be wanting one little snippet of it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
the beaded, knitted ball chain, that only, but like it's just a really good inspiration to see how one builds a collection. It's really smart. I
You make a
love.
good, we have talked about this before for people who are not like, it's not just for emerging, it's for people who are doing things like Jewelry Editions for people who are doing things that are different from maybe their current.
We're very interested in materiality, how people are using materials. We're also very interested in like a language that you're developing. And if you're looking to embark on a new body of work entirely, like maybe you're known for one thing, or maybe you only have done one thing, but you've just figured out how to do this whole other body of work, let us be the people who show it, So anyway, this collection this is new. This was based on Ruth
Yeah.
Bader Ginsburg, like inspired, I guess. But you were already doing some knitted ball
Yeah.
chain.
Knit ball chain have been doing for a long, actually it feels new to people, but I did it before a long time ago for Free People,
Mm-hmm.
then also for Runway.
I
But
love those big giant ones that you've done in like hot pink. You did a show somewhere in Minneapolis, maybe at Gallery 360. You had all these
the hot,
beaded,
those are all gone.
amazing,
So
amazing.
you know what I have? I have the parts. I
Ah,
started, okay, I'm going to show you, let's do a little mini tour too.
okay.
You can see, be prepared. It's like very messy, very, very messy.
I panned around my room, you'd see a lot.
Just bear with me. It's just a lot. Like, this is the nice area.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have like, I never flip this, so let's see.
Yeah.
So I
Ooh.
have tons of stuff here. This
So
is like,
organized. Are your flowers beaded?
yeah, these are. I'll try these on. I brought a bunch of this because this is so related, and I'm teaching I'm going to be teaching a tiara class for Jewelry Week.
Oh,
So I'll
fun.
be selling kits. You guys are the first. I'll be putting little kits together for like $25. You can make 2 tiaras. I'll have
Wow.
a 1-hour class. It'll be super fun. This is a bunch of stuff we'll get. Look how many materials. Okay, but here is like, okay, here's millions of gemstones.
Oh my gosh.
Like, this is aquamarine.
Okay.
There's
So organized.
this is like, yeah, but have to be, and then everything labeled with the millimeters because each pattern, and this is like we make every hoop by hand.
Mm-hmm.
So
So you
this
just
is,
have them stored, and then if they need beads, you pick which
yeah,
yeah.
finding goes with what. And so this is the back findings. We have 2 more boxes of findings that are in production. This is like the extra for special things.
What a dream to have like backstop findings. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to. This is just the rainbow pearl drawer. Isn't that pretty? I'm like obsessed with this. This we just did a whole bunch of stuff for Artful Home. So this is going to be this I've literally sourced the pearls for millions of years. Okay. This is this is also more gemstone library.
Wow.
Like gemstones, just different one. You know who did this? Emma Chandler was the one who did, like, every single thing has. I need help, so I hire people to organize it. So I can be this crazy person.
It's smart. Honestly, figured out how to like delegate what you need help with. It's brilliant.
Everybody's different. I need help with organization and paperwork and emails. I'm the worst. So I'm sorry to every single person that's watching this. I am literally the worst. But this is like me. This is where I sit. And then there's more. There's literally like tons
Yeah,
of.
got your mothership. That's the mothership.
This is what you're getting from me when I get your address.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
we talk. This I'm organizing, but this is how all of the all the ball chain. This
Mm-hmm.
is how many different findings we need to finish the pieces for the collection.
That's
Like
amazing.
each thing needs this different. Everything needs a thing. Them.
Yeah, I think it's probably in your case really important to have all those little tiny
Yeah.
organizational methods because your space is so your square foot
Little.
space is quite tight. So you don't have like table space. So you've got to work vertically. So that's really smart. Wow, that's your little bunker, the second
Yeah.
story.
This is like fulfillment. This is really crazy right now, but you see all my Kip's lemons that I have up here,
Wow,
right?
beautiful. Love her work.
Tons like the crazy earrings I made. We have tons of stuff. So this is just like getting ready. That's shipping tomorrow. This is always in progress being cleaned. How's that? Full bench, torch. This we do out of house a lot now. That's like I basically use the flex shaft because I need it just for stuff. And I also
Uh-oh. I don't know if the internet, I don't know if me or you. I think we're good. Yeah.
but that the bench I like I finishing things like polishing. I'm always really particular, so I'll like touch up things a lot.
So your practice is very like hand
Little.
it's very hand belt centric. Like you do a lot of weaving, you do a lot of kind of I would call it weaving. I would call it like
Yeah, textile.
textile.
Very
Yeah,
textile.
very textile
Like
oriented.
there's like weaving, crochet. Everything has some kind of textile, something. So I use a lot of cold connections. So the only hot work really is all the ear findings. And now we have Ada Chen doing all of that for us, my honey, another great metalsmith. And I've had amazing people do that part. Over the years, I was doing everything. And I'm so particular about our findings. Like, I don't think I'm ever it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal to me. Does that make
No,
sense?
I understand. I know I feel like I've had something at a show and you've been like, you flipped something over once and we're like, well, what about that? And it was like this tiny little thing. And I was like, shit. Oh,
But we notice like,
you're good. I'll run anything past you because you notice all those little.
I'm not a trained bench jeweler, but I have good hands. You know what I
You have
mean?
very good hands. It's very hard to design the way that you design. It's very simplistic, but very complicated.
Very,
So there's a lot of planning, pre-planning, designing that goes into it before you even touch the material, which is really impressive because I think I kind of work opposite. I'm kind of like, let me just like get in there and like mess around a bunch and then I'll figure out what I'm doing. And you're sort of like, let me plan it, let me sketch, let me like think, and then you kind of do a lot of maquettes. You have a lot of maquettes that you do.
yeah. And I like go through it and I cut it up and I go because it doesn't lay right. Like everything has to lay right. If it doesn't lay right, it's sloppy. And how my materials are very particular.
So important.
The ball chain is very particular in how it lays as well. It doesn't react the way you want it.
Right.
So
so many people, we should talk about that because you know you can design something flat or you can make something in the round, and then when you put it on the body, it can just like change everything. It can either start pulling to one side
that's the point.
or yeah.
See this needs to be worked on. See this?
Mm-hmm.
There's something here that doesn't lay perfect every time. It is actually chainmail and it should work perfect every time.
Yeah.
See that? How it's engineering mechanism with the tubes. That's like my version of chain.
It's really incredible when you're with Megan at a show. She is constantly touching and encouraging her clients to touch, and like this is the kind of jewelry that you can just sort of put in a quick little bag and throw in your suitcase. You don't have to worry about it. It's industrial steel. I mean, I've sold Megan's work before, and it is so much
So good. I love that you know so well. I'm like,
yes, it is a joy to sell, and the magnetic clasps and
this is like You know, I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, it's such an old person thing, this magnetic glass. I'm like, I feel like I need it. Are you kidding me? It also works for me. It works aesthetically, but it also works with the materials and what I'm doing with the materials.
Yeah.
So you can see is this is like one of my pieces that this is like one of the things we sell all the time. Looks good on lots of people. This is for me really our like bestseller. I think we're known for pearls.
Uh-huh.
It's like a really jewelry, really traditional thing.
But it doesn't look that way. It's very modern. It has a very contemporary vibe to it. Like you're not going to pair that necklace with a real, I mean, you could wear a conservative, you know, outfit with it, but
a lot of judges wear this.
I feel like it can easily sort of go in either direction depending on who styles it, for sure.
Yeah, you can make this more like funky. I think this would be cute with a jean shirt also, by the way.
Totally. Yeah, always denim.
I spoke to the right person.
Yeah.
Know your audience, right? No, but this is one of the pieces that like this is evergreen.
Yeah.
For me, and this is not evergreen for everybody. Like this isn't what a fine jewelry person would be doing. This is
yeah, so those are kind of definitely, that's like an evergreen piece. These the Anya House hoops are kind of like a statement,
funky,
big, giant.
Like this have that more kind of funky. Like they're gonna be like, I'll maybe make, 5 of these. Maybe this we're gonna probably make a bunch.
Those are great.
That's
what we had in our raffle. We had a similar pair like that in the raffle.
The teardrops. So I just incorporated the rings. I'm like, why don't I make this?
Why don't you? Yeah, why not? No, I love the longer piece like these that I have.
Oh my God. Thank you. Okay, I'm obsessed with these.
I don't know if people can tell, but it's like multicolor, super long, asymmetrical. I love them so much. It feels like a hair extension to me. I feel like it's like my little hair extension. I love them. They even got little stones on them.
It's funny because I've done this also throughout my career. I've come back to these pieces multiple times. During COVID, I basically come back to them because I'm like, we need to look at stuff. And
oh wait, okay. Tanya wants you to clarify evergreen.
Oh yeah.
What makes something?
Oh, what evergreen reference? I say they're evergreen in terms of they're those bread and butter, not even bread and butter, but the items in your collection that you have season over season, year for year, that become the core of your design aesthetic, your brand, your just like your whole, just your everything in a lot of ways. Like there's certain earrings for me,
like a staple piece in your collection.
This is the first earring I made in the collection. Maybe this might be one of my best sellers still. Mm-hmm. This is why I have health insurance.
Yeah.
And I have a retirement plan.
Love it.
I can totally pinpoint what those are. And those are what I can consider to be evergreen designs.
Yes.
I don't know if that's the right term.
Is that like a what we call that, like an industry term? An industry term? I don't know.
Maybe I just made it up.
I don't know. It makes sense. I like it.
I know the idea of evergreen something like that is used in business for terminal. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I think of certain pieces, that they will always be part of my collection. They're the basis for a lot of what I do. People still consider them to be classic. Like company has certain things, right?
Right.
That are them, and they'll never stop making those.
Right. It is a staple piece in your collection.
You go
with signature.
Yeah, they make that little floating heart. Is it Paloma Picasso heart and that bean?
Yeah.
I'm never giving those up. And how many generations of people have those? Think about, like, a lot, many.
Yeah. And you don't really find them in secondhand sales. I mean, those are things that like get passed down. Like people don't get rid of them.
Mm-hmm. I know, I wore mine too.
Yeah, they're so good. They're like multicolor, like green, purple. They're like Lisa Frank colors, which I love. I don't know if you can tell.
The
But I
client.
feel like they look like they're sort of like, I don't know. I feel like I wear all my hair to one side and wear this big long earring. It's such a nice statement. And they're so light.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
love
you don't feel them at all.
totally.
It's a way to wear a huge earring without any of the weight.
Obsessed. This is why I did this. This is what I wanted as a kid. This is like when I was a kid, I wanted to wear earrings so bad, and I had clip-on plastic one. I had jewelry also from an early age. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
First jewelry tree and
Me,
filled
yeah.
special. I still have it. Special Hello Kitty one, and I had a purse with my jewels in it. I would change out throughout the day because I don't. But this is. I had a compact, like a big
That
compact
makes so much sense. I did. I had a little compact too. I don't know why. Like there must have been.
too. I
Yeah.
remember I wanted that while it filled. That was really funny. The 80s. I think it was in the air or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, so before we get to, so I know we're on a time schedule, but I wanted to talk about your brand ambassador, Michael, because I met Michael with you in New York maybe a couple years ago when I was there. We all had dinner, but he is really smart, so educated in the world of fashion and science and all these worlds coming together for
Fashion,
um
fashion and economics, especially. Also,
just
knows how to
brilliant.
wear clothes. Like
For you
my
guys that don't know, Megan and Michael, who's My Butterfield on Instagram, they do an Instagram live on Fridays usually. And they're always talking about either a design or they're collaborating on designs together. But then he is also a brand ambassador for Megan and models a lot of her stuff and gets feedback on her work. And just talk about that a little bit because I think it's so smart and it's so fun to see you two working together via Instagram. But yeah, just elaborate on that a little bit.
here while we talk about this. Okay, I gotta say,
Yes, thank you, Sarah.
I know Sarah, because Michael, my whole family's known Michael for a long time. I met Michael when he was still in college. So a bunch of people that still work for me or I know or are part of my business, I met when they were in college and are still with me. I feel really fortunate in that way. And he's one of the people that he's always been supporter and been buying work and commissioning work, special pieces for all these years. Then we became friends because he's amazing.
Oh, right. That's actually how I first met him because he came to a show that we were all doing at the MPR and he was like trying on everybody's jewelry and you
Oh,
had
he
just
totally bought stuff too. He is the big, and he works corporate. So he works corporate fashion. He's completely run the gamut. You got like like many big names, like many names that you know that I will not say because I don't know what his NDAs are or whatever. But it's like I've seen him also grow in his career, and it's been so. He just everything has come to him that should come to him, and I value that. He's a go-getter too, and we've hung out all these years and we keep making cool stuff together. So finally during COVID, I've been thinking about, he's been like, actually in February we were having dinner. I had like I sat down with like my people in my company and just like through the years I've been part of everything. I have some amazing, I gotta say, all young people that have been really younger and really me a lot there and like giving me really good feedback. And in February, before all this even happened, we talked about how to do virtual, how to increase virtual, this was like on my mind definitely beforehand. And I've been talking to Michael about doing more things and photographing him. We lined up actually a photographer, but then COVID hit. So like we did our own shoot. We actually did a live shoot. Actually, we did a live shoot in August.
I saw
Hey,
that.
guys.
So good. I mean, first of all, I just love the way that it's styled on him. His sense of fashion is so unique and like beyond what's on trend. It's like before we know about it. kind of thing. And then he puts your jewelry with it, and it's just, it makes so much sense.
Yeah. I don't know, like, this wasn't like, it just, I feel like I'm stumbling, but I don't even know how to explain it. This was such a natural fit. We're just buddies.
Also, like, you know, because I've been listening in, and you guys you've been doing these collaborations, and then you started working on a bra, like, because you've always done these capelets and you've always done these crossbody things. You guys should check out Megan's website and her Instagram and just cruise it, because there's just so many things. But you've been doing these things, and then all of a sudden you guys were collaborating on these bras. And when you first started talking about it, I was kind of like, huh, interesting, like a bra on the outside. Okay. And then after you made it, like, out of the blue, like, every time I looked at the internet, every fashion brand was doing these bras everywhere. And it was like, they were onto something. It was kind of one of those things where I was like, you guys were teaching me something that was on the cusp, and then it just sort of erupted.
I guess, yes. And it's funny because I'm going to tell you the real origin of that is my sister. Because my sister is my other brand ambassador on the, she's run my shop for years.
And your mom, but yes.
But my sister in particular, like, ran the shop and, like, the employees, and, like, when we did retail
right.
A long time ago. Like, we don't do that anymore right now for a while. So my sister is her and Michael, it's really funny because they're both very forward thinkers in how they dress. Like, Sarah's having, like, a living harness with flowers for her wedding. Like, it's a very Michael thing. Hi, Sarah. Yes, she knows. And then Michael saw it on Sarah and was like, oh. And because Sarah wears it over a Coors t-shirt, a ripped up Coors t-shirt.
I love it. I love it.
Totally. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I made that for her, and then Michael saw it, and I made it for him. And then my friend Renat, and so I have, like, a couple people have it, and I was like, dude, I should put. Michael's like, why isn't this on the website? And I'm like, I never even. It's yes.
It is true. Like, now that you haven't been doing so much traveling, you've been traveling every other week, and, like, on the road. You have just, what I've observed is that you've taken all that energy that it took to be on the road, to do your show, to do all of that, and you have funneled it into this amazing interface on your website with your tiaras and the way that you shot your tiaras and branded those, and then tied that into a fundraising initiative, which was brilliant. We
made a lot of money, you guys. Thank you. I
still need to get a tiara. I still need to. I have another one.
I'm going to send you pictures and you pick out before. Okay, I'm shipping to you because I have a little package for you set aside. Like, you and me, I have little packages, and then. Okay, but I have the tiaras were, like, really born out of doing IG Lives with JB, a buddy who is also one of the founders of IG Live, who was like, we also, like, I don't know, just, I feel really lucky. I have a lot of friends, and I convince them to do things.
Well, anybody will do it with you because we know that we're safe with you. We know that you'll, like, fill the air if things get weird.
Laura, you're so right. I'm like, it's not weird. Let's keep going. Let's try it. Totally. We, like, try to make it fun, but JB and I got all of this, and JB is super into crowns. Like, that is her thing. So I developed this whole, like, we developed, like, a how-to, like, fun DIY night. We're doing Tuesday crafting. This got so big and people were asking for them, and then Michael started wearing them. So basically Michael figured out, of course, to wear it like this.
So good.
So brilliant. Brilliant. So then a bunch of people wanted it. And then I made kids ones.
Oh my God.
And they're like the cutest, right? Make babies. Because this I will make for you. I have tons of friends with the cutest kids.
So cute.
And we made it a good price. Summer was slow anyways, although I've been fortunate enough to have orders and be working, but not, like, stores weren't open. So our wholesale, we were just doing commission, and this gave me the opportunity and the freedom to do a little bit of this. And then Michael is totally a god, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
right? I feel like he dresses like a total god.
I mean, seriously, you guys have to check out Megan's Instagram and her website when this is over, because there's just all of this is on there, it's detailed. Your website is a dream. You get on there, you get to learn. What I love about it, you get on there, you learn about who you are, you see what your vision is, you see your aesthetic, and then that kind of like eases you right into like the product that you're making, and you feel like, oh, I just got to know this person. Now I'm ready to buy something. Now what do I want to buy? You know, oh, and she's raising money for Crafting the Future and all of these other organizations. Like,
raised money for New York City Jewelry Week, Crafting the Future, Loveland, the Loveland Foundation, and Color of Change. And then we did, so this, because, and I talked to JB with New York City Jewelry, they have been doing Here We Are for a while now and have had a diversity focus.
right, yeah.
Which I really love.
Totally.
I just love that. I mean, I'm a New Yorker now and a Californian, and I come from diverse places, and I live in a diverse place, and that's how my life is.
Yeah.
My partner is not white, like,
yeah,
not fully white. My mom is not white, so this definitely like been aware for a long time. So this has really been finally, and actually, like, I was doing this Goldman Sachs 10,000 small business program where I did business school recently, because I think I'm always wanting to refresh, and I think it's good to reflect on where you are.
totally.
Appreciate that, but then also make plans for the future and reassess. You don't always have to be doing the same thing. It's okay to change and move.
Well, I think that's part of the reason why you were able to adjust to our reality right now with the pandemic, is because you were already thinking towards the future and thinking about how you wanted to change your e-commerce and change your methods for your own business before we even had this issue where now we can only shop online, really, if we want that experience. Like, you were already like,
it's really like a limited
logistics.
Yeah, but I think I felt really limited in my audience in a lot of ways, and I think Anya House grew out of that too in some ways. Not a racial focus, but that was underlying in it, even though we didn't speak it.
Totally, like feeling like you know, we have these craft fairs and we have galleries and there's an audience for art jewelry, but there's so many people out there who don't even know the work that's being made in contemporary jewelry, and these galleries, these boutiques, these places that sell it aren't necessarily like all over the place. You know, there's not very many.
They're closing, actually.
Yeah.
I think I'm watching that. Okay, I go with my gut, but my gut's right.
Yeah.
But I feel that you feel the trends, you know, economically, this is, in 30 years, am I doing this? In 30, like, where to work back? That's what I keep, work backwards a little bit. In 5 years, where should I be? How do I get there? In 30 years, I think I'm not saying, and it's not going to work. It's never going to be like, that's not going to happen. But at least I've thought about it is good. And I've made a semi-plan that you're able to be flexible about changing, because honestly, this is the biggest lesson in being flexible.
Being flexible, and also just like, you know, following your passion, like the zip tie. My brooch is in the other room, but yeah, bring those brooches out. I bought one of these brooches, these zip tie brooches that were also part of the fundraiser. So colorful. These like corsages. This one's gold. Do you have them in color? Oh my god.
These
so
colors. Super fun. I'm going to have colorful for the kits we're doing for Jewelry Week. Just because I think it's fun and we need color in our life. You know, I had really limited supplies, and this is what I had. It was sculptural and sketch in a lot of ways. And then people wanted it.
Well, also, this is an example of you having an inspiration, using your platform to just share your ideas, and then building on it, and then all of a sudden it's this thing. And even if it didn't end up being a thing, it wouldn't have mattered, but you just sort of followed that and the way that you
That's
work naturally just fed right into it. It was great. It was great to see. And you know, I'm saying, like, as a friend, but also as a person who loves jewelry, I'm seeing these things come out, and I'm like on your website, like trying to get what I want as fast as I can before they sell out.
because we've sold out. It's we sell out of things, and I'm like, that's also something. I don't know how big you are. I can't. There's no way we're going to be able to make everything. So I think I'm trying to be careful about curation. People are like, "Are you going to devalue your brand? Are you going to do this?" I'm like, "This is what the. If you're not going to do, this is the time." Also, why is this the time? It should have been doing this anyways. You know what I mean?
Right.
I will just DM me. Anybody DM me. I have like.
So they're not on your website anymore,
Yeah,
Megan?
I took everything down because we made 50 kid ones. No, I made literally 20 hot pink. After I
Wow.
made 20 fucking hot pink, the hot pink, everybody, we made other colors, but the hot pink in particular, I just got like, okay, I'm not doing production on this. It's not, I can't do it anymore. And also,
Right.
stores started reopening. I'm just
Right. There was a window where this was something that you could do, and then that window passed. But
You sign up
yeah,
for the make your own, and I might have a selection available to those people.
yeah.
That might be a nice something for an enticement to people to show up for that 1 hour class. But Tanya
Yeah.
and Laura, I have.
Oh my gosh, these are incredible, incredible. So wait, you've been doing these. I know we're like getting so close to time. It
I know
stresses me out, but
go a little over. Don't worry.
okay, okay, okay.
Okay.
You've been doing these
My
photos.
got over. Like I got a new account because the personal ones something happened, so now our IG lives don't do that because of my. But I also have no more heart button.
Oh, bummer.
I can't see the likes. I mean, I have to go to a whole nother. I have to go a couple steps to see them now.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
So that something has happened. Reels became the #1 button. So
Huh.
people who are into IG, I'm going to tell you, put your practice Reels because all the algorithm is going there.
Oh, wow. Interesting. That's
Video.
good. That's good tip.
I'm gonna tell
So you've been doing these really interesting photo shoots with your work that like you have always done these like like what's in your background, like you've always done product shots on models and have
yeah.
always like come out with a new lookbook every season or every show season that you do. But then recently you've been doing all these really kind of alternative photo shoots where you've been going outside. I don't know where you are. You're like on top of buildings or something.
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
a park.
We have next in the future someday if I'm still living here, probably not. I don't know. My building has a roof where I can see the Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building from my roof. And so I hang out there because it's cute.
Yeah.
I live literally outside of the door that goes up to it. So my door is the door that, anyways, we have the access. So I love it. But it's just we had really limited access to outdoor spaces in New York City. And it's really hard without outdoor space during the quarantine for 3 months. So we photographed on there. Honestly, that's where I do most of my photography because it's quiet. Nobody's there. It's lovely. I love natural light. I've tried everything with lights. My work is so delicate and detailed. It needs real. So that's what I've been focusing on. So I've been doing a lot of that's where I did all of the photography for the crowns. And it was just a natural. I didn't think about it.
It was just like how you felt. Yeah. They will
drinking beer.
They photographed so nice. Like all of them, the panorama, the verticals, really worked out in a really nice way. And on mirrors, I feel like there's mirrors involved or something. There's so many awesome things.
Okay, so there's like a turret that's like for a chimney, but not a defunct pre-war chimney. Literally drill paper. It's really windy. It can be windy. Drill paper into the thing so it's flat. It doesn't blow away. Put the jewelry down and just take as many pictures as possible. And then, but I'll do like model shots in the evening, product shots during the day. And then with Michael, we've been doing these like really awesome social distance, like safe photo shoots. Hi, Michael. Your ears are burning. We were singing your praises again.
Again.
Amazing. Both go today. But it's like that was like a really fun. We just did that with tripod. I have a one of those like
One of those shutter things. Yeah.
on a selfie stick, so I can photograph
Right.
all over. I don't have to be like up in his face.
Smart.
Super wonderful. Obviously, Michael and I are both have been practicing a lot of safety, so
Yes.
that was great.
It is an entirely different thing to be doing this in New York. I mean, you
It
know,
is.
I just feel like none of us really even know the challenges of this because not only do I live in a place where I don't have to see anybody, really, if I don't want to. I can go from here to there to everywhere in my car. But
Without
you're outside, you're like riding your bike,
people are, and a lot of people are like not wearing masks.
not wearing my, yeah.
That's changed. My neighborhood has changed. It's way better. I feel a lot safer. Like going to the post office, that seems really good. The supermarkets seem safe. People might be walking around, biking. Certain areas I wouldn't go to. Maybe like South Williamsburg has been really weird.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah.
So, being safe. I'm not taking on the public transportation. I live close. It is a challenge. Like even figuring out like my assistant coming in for one day, me having to work from home, and then so I have to have a work from home place still. It's like, do you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, and staying sanitary and making sure safety protocol is really, really huge right now.
It's such a big deal. It really is. And you have people that you employ that come in and help you, and then you have like a fully thriving business that, you know, it's at a level where you've really got to maintain it. You also live in New York. Your cost of living is so much higher than so many people doing what we're doing. So kudos for being able to put all this together while also raising a lot of money for other people and having a good attitude and also making time for your friends to FaceTime and like chat. It's a big deal. I don't know. I really don't know how you do it.
I feel like a little bit everywhere. In some ways, I feel like I'm doing a little bit of everything, but I do feel like in some ways I'm failing a little bit of everybody. So, it's,
I think we're back.
The best thing to do right now, you are so sweet, Laura. I think the best thing to do has been honestly staying positive. It's funny because people who've been through worse shit, this is not a big deal. I feel like I've been through worse shit, so I'm like, I mean, this is bad.
Yeah. But, not to mention your whole family is on the West Coast.
Okay, and they're all here right now. By the way, shout out to
Hey, family.
Laura knows, and Laura's mom also knows because your mom also shows up to like the stuff. It's a
mom.
thing.
If there's a way my mom can be there, she's gonna be there. She's in here too. I think she's.
She's here now. I mean, I saw her sign on as a person, and then my mom. I mean, that's why I'm successful. It's really hard to be far from them, but with travel and health issues, we just start trying to maintain safety.
Totally.
This is so hard, you guys. And usually, I will say, you're physically pretty close to your parents, and so even though I'm physically distant, I actually see my parents a lot.
You do actually, yeah.
Just to put it there, like I'm pretty at least once a quarter, if not every month. And I go to California a lot. I don't know. So this has been weird.
I keep remembering this story about you that I want to tell that I meant to mention earlier. Like again, I've done a lot of shows with Megan. I've been around her while she's been selling, and I remember one of the first times we were at Sofa. I think we were showing together in the same booth, and I was watching you work with clients and do your thing, and this person walked in and you welcomed them and started talking to them, and then they were like, oh, you know, we don't speak English, you know, we're French, you know, da, da, da. And then you started talking to them in French. Like you started selling to them. You were like, oh, oui, oui. And I, I was like, I know she didn't just click into French. What? Like, seriously?
I love
It was one of the most impressive things. And they were like, oh, and you guys like had a whole thing. Of course, they ended up, you know, loving your, they liked your work to begin with. And then they walked out with pieces, of course. And I was just like, I've never seen anything like it. I'm telling you, if anybody wants to learn how to work in retail, just spend a day with Megan in her booth. You are going to be completely floored. I took some lessons. I'm not gonna lie. I have my notes.
Laura legit worked in a retail shop, an amazing retail jewelry store for many years. Michael also, can I tell you, Michael is,
Oh, I'm sure he can sell some jewelry.
Yes. So Michael was, I was doing a trunk show at Bendel's. He was one of the sales assistants, and he kept that he was like, so he was still in college. He was working. He knew how to sell. Dang, I was like, oh.
And it's not, well, and I feel like, you know, it's like, it's not like you're selling something because you're just selling it. It's different. It's you're passionate about what you do and you're sharing it with the person who's coming into your world in a way that helps them to understand it, which helps them to appreciate it, which makes them understand the value of it and want to take it with them. It's different than like a car salesman. You know what I mean? Like when we're talking about salesmanship, we're not talking about being able to get someone to buy something. We're talking about being able to articulate who you are and what's so special about what you do that then connects with that person. Because if somebody doesn't want something, there's no way, you can't force anybody into something. Like you have to know what, and then it's just about, you know, if that person is not fit for you and they're in your booth, then it's just about a friendly conversation and send them on their way, you know. But
there's nothing wrong with that too. I think you know what? Thank you. But and also, I hadn't thought about it that way completely. And I think about it I've talked to Donna about this also, who I know we've both worked with. And I think for me, it's about connecting with the person. And it's not, that's the most important. And then a little bit about me.
mm-hmm.
And I think that's why there's success there, because I've put them first in a lot of ways. I think and I also I like having the conversation. If it doesn't matter to me if it results always in a sale.
It's commonality, like being able to find a commonality with a person, like, and then I don't know, so much of it's social too. Just like watching you in your booth at Union Square, Grand Central Station, even people who are just straight up rude. You know, you find a way to be like, okay, you know, and you're that's one thing I took from you is that occasionally there'll be some rude people who you meet in public situations like that. And you, like, my tendency, if people are rude to me, is to, excuse me? But I learned very quickly, you have to
immediately get immediately. But you gotta say that, but actually you're very good at the
polite. Yes, there's a polite way to do it. There's like, okay, all right, sure. Mm-hmm.
You're doing it. You're very, very good at like keeping the peace and being calm when it's happening and level-headed, which I think being not crazy emotional is good too. Like not being so affected by people not being bought your work. That happens all the time. People are total assholes.
You have to be excited. Yes.
I agree with, and there has to be, you have to actually believe it. Yeah.
I think that's true. I think that's the difference too. A lot of like galleries that I've learned to work with, and there's galleries that I've learned that maybe are better for special exhibitions, because some galleries are better at, like, you can tell when they're really excited about your work. If they're not excited about your work, you know, like, okay, well, you're no longer excited about this body of work, or I can tell you really like it and you know how to sell it and you know how to talk about it. And that is the difference, I think, between connecting with the audience and not, because contemporary jewelry is not going to sell itself, you know. And I mean, that's Jewelry Edition's philosophy for sure. Like, it's all about the educational component of it. You have to talk about the materials, you've got to talk about where this person's from, what their background is, what made them approach this material. You know, you like, your history as a person and what your interests are so much about what's happening in your jewelry, and those two things live together. You know, it's so important.
Funny, like as an outside observation, also interestingly, that's such an art way to approach it as a versus a wearing or styling or design or fashion way of approaching it.
Yeah.
Or this is how you wear it, this is how you style, which is a little bit what we do.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that I think about that a lot. Well, that's because I do wear a lot of funky stuff. Like, this is my all,
no,
this is behind me.
no.
Like, I wear a lot of funky stuff, but it is about like how to style it, you know, how to wear it is a big part.
People, I think that's like, and putting it in people's hands. So these having a lot of exposure by putting it in lots of different geographic locations is huge, I think, because there is something that doesn't always translate. I think virtual. I think there's. I think having the. There is still value in these geographic happening though too. It's a blend. It's a combination.
Right. Well, even with your work, it looks very delicate. It looks very you know, very delicate. But a big part of talking about your work with a client is saying, this is steel. This is cable steel that's been plated, or, you know, that's strong. Like, this is
Crazy.
a really strong material with lots of memory and bounce, and that's all part of understanding it, because someone who's worried about it getting tangled or getting kinked or whatever might shy away. But then you have to say, that's actually not a problem with this work. You can, exactly, this, you do this, you know, while
Or like they're worried about allergies too. You know, people. I think that's something also with materials. I think that's part of your education that you're doing with Jewelry Edition in a lot of ways. You know, this is going to affect this. This is, but I mean, we're working on the body. Everyone is a jeweler, so they know it has to work with the body.
yeah,
But explaining that to people who may not, who are a little bit outside,
yeah,
I think that's part of it too, because people are a little bit like, oh,
yeah.
not, it's not pure gold. I refuse it. And you're like, no, no, no. Wait a minute. Like, there's a bunch of other things happening here that actually are very wearable.
Right.
Funny, right? Do you feel like your own work in some ways that people, is this safe for my body?
What was the question?
About your work? It's like totally not jewelry people.
Oh,
People don't know what powder coating is, you know?
no, a lot of people ask me if it's glass, and, you know, or, you know, is the paint gonna rub off on me, or, you know, all that. The ear posts are always sterling silver, but people are all of a sudden, because of the main material is so mysterious. Maybe the ear wire is also mysterious, and that's not safe. And it's like, oh no, the ear wire is sterling silver. It's fine.
It's you're building, like diamond people are building trust because they're doing a certain quality. We're building that trust too, so that is a little bit part of the story. They're taking a little chance on something that's not traditional. People are so weird about not traditional. I'm pointing that out because am not that far from traditional in my opinion, but I am super far from traditional in a lot of ways.
You are, and I also think though that, like, your work and the way that you have been able to introduce it to people is something that helps everybody doing contemporary jewelry, because, like, oh, it's lightweight, I can wear it. They start wearing big ginormous earrings in this kind of funky material, and they're like, well, let me see what else. Megan, who are your friends? Tell me who your friends are. I feel like,
and here we are. I mean, I have more traditional girl that wears my work a lot. I don't have always the crazy funky art girl. I have those too, and we sell.
no, your work, everybody buys your work. I've seen it with my own eyes.
It is. I we talk about this with Anya. okay, we are coming. We're talking about this Anya house.
Yeah.
About work being something that everybody, it's the democratization of this in a lot of ways, because we want this to be for everybody. It shouldn't be this elitist thing.
No, no. And being able to, like, you have a lot of price points in your collection. You've got a pair of earrings that starts at, like, what does your price start at? 50, 90?
I think I have 45 or 50 for the smallest earring.
And then it goes all the way.
12
Yeah.
to 2K for the more expensive pieces. Not, I mean, not like $10,000, but it's also cable. So I'm
Yeah.
happy. I'm happy with the prices I get for what I do.
Yeah. But it's, I mean, you've got a nice range in there. You've got a really nice range where,
In that way, that's part of, like, I think that's the economics. I think you made a good point too about in designing collection. I think about all the price points, but I also think about all the categories, and I want to make sure everything's like fit in there. I want everything to feel like a true story, not only the vision of the materials, the aesthetic design, but enough necklaces, bracelets, earrings, whatever categories. Who knows?
yeah,
Personally,
but and we've talked about this before, I think, in a previous Instagram live, where it's like you don't have to do everything. You don't do a lot of things. You don't do a ton of. You do a fair amount of bracelets, but you don't do a ton of bracelets.
no,
You do a lot of earrings, a lot of necklaces, and some brooches and some tiaras.
those are new, and those are new, and then purselets are new. And I think, like, but if I'm going to do a collection of purselets, for example,
Oh yeah.
or do that's coming, that is going to be a collection. And I think that's what I feel like going back. I'm going to tie it into what you said at the beginning. But I think, I think thinking that way, there's something like that. I think about that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm presenting, even if I'm presenting different things, I want them to make sense together. And then I think about them in the whole of my work and try to make it all make sense. And that's it visually and with your words.
Yeah, I think it's really smart. Like, and it's a really like a collection that has grown with you, and you've like kind of, it's sort of like there's this main section of your work, and then you have these sort of like different branches that you sort of go out, and then you come back to the mothership, and then you kind of go back out to these sort of experimental
Future.
things. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice. It's really, it's cool to see. And color, I mean, you're not afraid of color. I mean, when you do color, it's delicate here, or not even, like with the knitted hot pink stuff, which,
Well, okay, well those are buried somewhere, but it's like all of this. There's actually 2 more coming of the hot pink ones, because my sister wants a pink one. There's like a couple people who that's like their color, so I'm making a couple more that are coming out. Those sold so well too, and it's fun. And we're doing little purselets in color. So I don't know, there's endless possibilities. There's endless possibilities within the cable work. I still feel like I keep finding new things.
yeah, I mean, I honestly, I feel like you could just keep going and going and going, and you will, and it's incredible. And also, it's the type of thing, there are a few designers that I know that I collect that I feel like I could always keep collecting. I want more, and you're one of them. Like, I could have a pair of these earrings. I have a pair of hoops. I'm waiting for my knit piece. I want like a big knitted piece. Like, there are like, I just want to keep adding to it. Kat Cole, my partner in jewelry,
Yes.
is another one of those people who I have just like, so I actually just organized my jewelry collection the other day because I just moved, and I have so many of her pieces that I had forgotten about. I'm like, oh yeah, this is Kat, like 2007 or something. It's kind of nuts.
Well, and it's great because it's funny how that is. And as now having some more longevity after 10 years now, I'm like, oh, there's a lot more to go, but people are also collecting the future now.
Show us this piece. Show us this piece.
You've tried this.
So drapey.
Yeah. Go. There's one lady in Grand Central. Oh, by the way, okay, my holiday plans really quick. Nobody knows about them.
Oh, right. This is where we started and we never.
Sorry. Okay, we will close up. But I will say holiday plans are I am doing Grand Central Terminal virtual show.
Oh, nice.
Yes, for 6 weeks. We will be highlighted on their webpage. We're one of 40 curated small businesses.
That's a big deal. Only 40 shops.
40 were let in. Definitely a big deal.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah, for Grand Central, which is a big, for me, when I did that, around year 5 in my business, that changed this. It made us a business.
Yeah.
Real business. It kicked my butt also.
Yeah. I visited you during this time and I was like, oh my God.
It's not art jewelry. It is like being thrown to the masses and you sink or swim.
Yeah. Pretty incredible.
Yeah. And
really cool to see.
Yeah. And so I'm also doing ACC's Craft Bash.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Right now, that's going to be 3 weeks. So I'm doing things with longevity because if I'm going to put the work in at the beginning, I need things to be up for a while because it's a lot.
Yeah. Francesca, we're wrapping up, but you're not here too late. Don't worry.
I know. Say hi. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, I've got one of Francesca's pieces in my jewelry display down there in the bottom.
Talk about before our next thing we're planning next, right? We're gonna come back. We're planning this. Let's plan a schedule, but in the future we're gonna have a night where we try on jewelry.
Yeah, I wanna talk about our jewelry collections because you've got a pretty fierce jewelry collection, and I have tons of jewelry that I love, and I want to talk about it. I want to talk about our personal collections, and
I'm obsessed. I love it. I was like, at the beginning of COVID, I started doing this, like unboxing my own jewelry.
Yeah.
But do you have, for me, because I moved a bunch too, and mine's it's still in boxes. I've never properly.
What I have found is that every time I move, like the last 3 years, the most current 3 years of jewelry is what I usually have on display, and everything else gets kind of archived in. Yeah. And then after a while, I'll collect more jewelry, and then I'll archive others away. And right now, because I live in a bigger house now, I'm gonna start working on.
You know what I mean? You're like home.
I'm home, and what I would really like to start looking for is some furniture, some vintage furniture, or some vintage systems for storing some of my jewelry, so that I can actually really archive it in a really clean way, so that I can say, okay, I know I got some of her work when I was in grad school, and that was like 2000 blah blah blah, and let me look in that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I really want that kind of organization.
Okay.
I think Tara Locklear actually has a really nice way.
We do this, and then we should get more people on.
Yes, sharing our jewelry collection. And I've got lots of jewelry edition people. I mean, I've got like every year I buy one of everybody pretty much.
My piece from you, so I adapted. You gave Nick a green brooch, but I adapted to a necklace so I can wear it also. I have that and Amelia's, but we're cleaning. Everything's in boxes. I can't.
Yeah.
Anyways, our partner.
I understand that. Well, before we close up, I do want to say, first of all, I love the necklace that you're wearing. That's pretty amazing.
My Real Housewives of Atlanta.
I love it.
We did this for Portia.
You and Michael, right? Michael was part of this. No?
This just happened. Michael knows about it because he was so excited.
Yeah.
Him and Ricky were like, do you know who Portia was? I'm like, I have no clue. Tell me.
I love this piece. I love that. I would wear this.
So cool.
I would wear this with like a really deep V and like a blazer jacket on top of that, and then the neck would be just like in there in between.
She wore it with a V thing like this.
Mm-hmm.
Literally hot pink gunmetal. So hot pink with gunmetal was cute.
Yeah.
Two here, boobies.
Love it. And it probably like sinks down in the cleavage a little bit.
HOT. She also wore these on the morning show.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
This is cute too. This was cute on her. I forgot we worked, and then Candy too. We worked sometimes we work with stylists. I do 0 things, so thank you so much for any stylists that reach out to me.
And you had work on your friend that did the show with Heidi Klum. What is the show?
Yeah, we're not. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not wearing the bra on that. Yes. Yes.
There's like so many things. You guys, if you, I know most of you know Megan because you're here in this Instagram live, but Jewelry Edition folks who may not know the full scope of what Megan has done, it is just incredible. You could teach a master class, honestly, in
There's
what you do.
so much more. There's still so.
You could probably do that, actually. You could probably do a master class. Like,
10 more years. 10 more years, then master.
all right. Maybe Jewelry Edition will figure out how to.
Okay, if you make it happen, I'll do it.
We'll figure out. We'll be like, take a master class with Megan on this one little tiny thing that she knows a ton about, and then we'll work up to all these other crazy things that she knows about. Right, Francesca?
I might start teaching some classes where I've been thinking about it. Just asking me things, and I am definitely a lifelong learner. Right? We love. Yeah. This is why you did Penland and why you developed all this new work. You guys, that was a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's hard to switch gears, especially when you're successful at the thing that is over here.
Right. Yeah. When you're known for something and then you want to like go off in the left field. I have to say, as a creative person, there are no rules. It doesn't matter. Take chances, fail. Who fucking cares? It's not going to define you. I guess I'm kind of like, I don't care. Right. But you know what? You've also worked to give yourself the professional peer group and people around you. Surrounded yourself with people who love that about you and want to grow with you.
Yes.
You know, and I would say the same thing about myself. You select people in your life that are motivating you towards growth and
taking chances. And I think people are so scared.
Yeah.
And it's okay to fail.
It's totally fine. Actually, that's like what I had to work through the first year, at Penland was like, oh God, I might not do very well. And I'm already here, so fuck it.
Right. And you killed it. It's so funny because and I think there's a lot of achievement in putting yourself out there emotionally. You learn a lot from that, and the next thing you put out is going to be, no one's going to touch that. You know what I mean? I don't know. It depends on how you. I also am like, sometimes things work, sometimes things don't. I think that you put it right. I do analyze it, go forward, adjust, keep going. Keep positive.
Well, you are an inspiration. And people need to know that. And you killed it with our interview series, interviewing all the Jewelry Edition 5 artists. They all love you. And it felt so comfortable. And
oh, good.
Gosh, we can't thank you enough for that. And also, you are just a role model for all of us.
Oh, well, I have to say again, thank you. Thank you for trusting me to do that, to trusting me with your artists. I had such a blast. I learned so much from each one, and it also made me want all the work. Oh, this is me shopping. So on my wish list for the future, don't worry. Oh, she knows.
Well, and before we close, I do want to say Eric Verostro, who is one of the artists in the group right now, he's doing a raffle right now for a pair of earrings.
Yeah, the bloom.
The bigger bloom, yeah, right now. So it's, I think, a $10 ticket. You go over to his Instagram page, and I'm sure it'll link, and then you can get a pair of his earrings. If you win, you got to do it. So I want to give a shout out to him, and we got some new work in from him today. I'm just going to show one piece.
We honestly, look at how nice have they been to me. They're like, hey, you like talking? Keep talking.
I know. Look, I'm just going to share one piece that
People are here, you guys. This is great. I love it. Thank you so much for being here, you guys.
This is going to Ombre Gallery this month.
Ooh, a brooch or earrings?
A brooch.
Ooh, nice size too.
Yeah, really, really nice. So he's got some really nice pieces. And then of course Amelia sent us some new work. So there's
Uh,
so many new pieces that are
And
going.
Taylor's gonna be sending you new work.
Taylor's going to be sending us some new work, and that's going to go to Ombre, and then we'll just keep doing all that, and then Megan, we'll figure out a way for you to maybe come back and do
Yeah,
something with us with Ombre,
yeah.
and
Let's.
then of
let's
course Megan and Tanya Crane, who's probably not still here, but she's a part of our committee that are going to be thinking about how to approach the next volume of Jewelry Edition, which we've got some time on that because we're a ways away. But anyway, these are people who are behind our mission and our initiative. So
and
um,
doing some things together probably in the quarter or in January for starting to fundraise
another,
again.
another fundraiser. Yeah.
Yeah, there's stuff on the horizon. Stay tuned. I would love to do something with Ombre. We'll set something up. This has been a pleasure. I'm sad, but until next time.
Well, we're gonna do a jewelry. We're gonna do a jewelry collection.
Yes,
Something.
we just need to do that just for fun.
Yeah. Cool.
'Cause
Awesome.
all day. Hello.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Everybody visit Megan's website, see all the things we're talking about. We'll link her. I'll share it on our Instagram. And thank you everybody for joining in.
Awesome. Until next time, I really appreciate it. We're slated for Friday with Michael. So thank you guys.
Mwah.
Oh,
Good
thank you.
night.
Oh, okay. Amazing.
Oh.
Bye.